and welcome to Take Two Radio. I'm Pam, your host, and with me today is, I hope, awake Sabina as my co-host.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Wonderful. I'm so glad you could join me today. And today, for our listeners, we welcome an award-winning actor, producer, director, and a really cool motorcycle guy who is the Grand Marshal for Ride to the Dunes, a child abuse awareness benefit. And say hello, Sabina, to Lorenzo. Hello, Lorenzo.
Hello.
Lorenzo Lamas, are you there? Hello. Okay, we might have connection problems. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. Would you please call back? Okay, so I guess we'll have to wait for him. Not sure what's going on there. Hello? Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait to welcome him back.
I told you, Blog Talk Radio is being goofy today.
Well, I don't know if it's that or if it's just, maybe he's in an area where we can't hear him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, how's your day been going?
Good. Not done a whole lot to really speak of. How about you?
Well, you know me, I'm always working behind the scenes. I took some time off in May to catch up on some book reading, but unfortunately, with how busy I am with 2 shows, I haven't been able to do that. And there's some awesome books. I have one Dan Brown book that I'm really looking forward to getting into, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Are you a book reader?
A little bit. I'm actually reading a book by Allison Sweeney right now. It is really good. It's just a novel. It's about a PR person in out there in Hollywood, and it's really good. It's really, really good. So.
Okay. Let's try this again. Maybe we have Lorenzo.
Hello.
Lorenzo?
Yes. Hi, Pam.
Hi.
Hi.
We had another call before. No one was answering. I thought maybe it was you, but it wasn't, I guess, because I see you're calling from a different number. By the way, I'm Pam. I'm the host, and I have Sabina, my co-host, with me.
How are you?
Hello, Lorenzo. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Where are you guys?
I'm actually
in
Chicago. Yeah, and she's in Atlanta.
God, wow. This is I love conference calls. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connect everybody.
Without having them, we wouldn't have a chance to talk to you like this. So
right. So is this a regular show that you do, or what's the format? Yes,
I interview celebrities a few times a week, and they could be anybody from daytime, primetime films. I've had authors, I've had psychics, I've had singers, bands, many different people. So we just reach out to them and interview them, and if you have a cause that you want to, let our listeners know about, which of course you do, because you missed my opening, I said that you were going to be the Grand Marshal for Ride to the Dunes, a child abuse awareness benefit, so that's one of the big reasons we're doing this show today.
Well, that's the reason why I'm on the show today.
Exactly. Before we get to that, we'd like to ask you a few other questions about your career, if you don't mind.
That's sure. I mean, it's basically it's Fun Tuesday, so you just feel comfortable in asking me anything, and
okay,
I'm pretty open and generally fairly honest.
Okay, thank you for that. We'd just like to get a little bit of background, like when did you know you wanted to be an actor?
Well, I think I probably knew I wanted to be an actor when I could really be sure that I was able to make a living at it. And that didn't happen for a few years after I had, started getting parts. I still kept my day job, for a few years. So I think I decided that I probably could do this acting thing when I was cast as Lance on Falcon Crest. That was 1981. I was 20. I was 21 years old. No, I was 23. So I guess, I mean, I had been in the business. I got grease when I was 19, and then I continued to work odd jobs. I parked cars. I worked at health spas as a trainer. I pumped gas. I did different things until I got Falcon Crest.
And I do so remember you on Falcon Crest and absolutely adored you, as many, many fans have. That is one of the best things that I got from Falcon Crest. Well, not things, but, that's when I found out about you and followed your career since then.
Well, it certainly was a fortunate break. I mean, getting a part, any part really is tremendously lucky, but I mean, getting to be on a show that lasted so long, 9 seasons, it's really like winning the lottery, because it almost never happens. And
exactly.
I've had a number of wonderful opportunities, in the business, and I've also had periods of relatively slow opportunities. So you kind of have to. My dad told me way back in the very beginning, just before I got Falcon Crest, he said, acting is a great hobby, Lorenzo, but find something you can do to make money, because acting is not going to be, your wherewithal. You'll have to supplement your acting. And, of course, I never did, because...
Who listens to their parents, yeah.
Today, I mean, when you look back at your life and the influences that you had in your life, your parents being among the major influences, I should have listened to both my parents a lot more. But, when you're young, in your 20s, and you're already achieving a certain level of security and success, you tend to think that you know it all, and that the gravy train, will never come to a stop.
That's right. That's right. I remember that myself, and I see my kids going through that, so I know very well. We all have done that.
Yeah. So, but I have no regrets. Really, I have no regrets in any portion of my life, whether it be professional or personal. They're all life lessons,
right,
that help to make us who we are and moving forward, in our own individual lives. You try to learn from the mistakes you make, so you don't make them too many times. Hopefully you don't make the same mistakes,
right,
over and over. But life is a trip, as they say.
Well, if you were not born into an acting family with your dad and your mom, do you think that's something you would have gone into?
Probably not, because I wouldn't have been exposed to going to the set, with my parents and seeing how much they both enjoyed what they did. Just being exposed to that as a kid, even though it wasn't much. I really didn't hang out with a lot of Hollywood, offspring, because I went to a boarding school, a military school when I was 13. So, but I think just those rare occasions when I did go to the set and saw my parents work, it kind of left an impression. So that when I was in college, briefly, I took some drama classes, and it kind of sparked, a little desire.
So did you basically learn the first part that you got, from then on? You learned something new about acting or how to act as you move forward?
Well, I would say so. I'd say I learned from doing for the most part, but I did go to an acting school early on. When I first told my dad that I wanted to, give it a shot, he said, "Well, you're not going to go out there and embarrass me because I'm a director now, and I'm not going to have casting people think that you can't act or you suck." So I had to audition for him with my stepmom. I'm serious. It's
wow.
This is a true story. So I guess I passed the audition. It was a scene that I did with my stepmom, Esther Williams, and by the end of the scene, Esther was crying, and my dad said, "Okay, Jesus, you can act. So let's get you into it. We'll get you into a school, because it was, a person can have a little natural ability. Athletes have natural ability, that they can then continually, train with and attempt to perfect, and then become professionals. But some actors are born with the ability, the comfort level, to be basically to not care about what people think,
Right.
But I did need to go to get some training. So my father had a friend who had an acting school in Burbank, and I went there, and I went through the courses, and at least had some kind of, real training before I actually had a part on a TV show.
Well, as I said, I loved you in Falcon Crest, but also Renegade, Grease, and The Bold and the Beautiful. What was your favorite part to play, and why?
Well, I think Renegade was my favorite part because it was the most fun. I worked harder than I've worked on any other television show or movie, but it was my own show. It was like I was the star of the show.
Right.
I was in every episode. It was like I was riding a Harley, which I had done prior to getting the show for 15 years. So and martial arts and everything I had done prior to the show. So it was really kind of a wonderful, fortunate break that Stephen Cannell had remembered me from some of the auditions that I had done.
Yeah, it was a part definitely made for you.
Well, you would seem it seemed to be that, but actually it wasn't. That he had written the script a year before he even knew me, I think, and he'd shelved it because he just didn't think that it had any viability until this whole straight to syndication model started to mature in the early 90s. And then when he knew he was going to syndicate the show himself and not use a network, he brought it back down off the shelf and then remembered me from some of the auditions that I'd done.
Okay.
But yeah, it fit like a glove. The part was perfect. And some parts, suit actors more than other parts. And this one just was just perfect.
I couldn't agree more. From what I knew about you and your background, that I just really thought that the part was written for you. Now, as far as your stunts are concerned, is that something that they, just readily said, go ahead and do them, or did you have to fight them for that?